Okay. Hey, I'm Alex, or Alexander Holder. I'm originally born in England, London. Currently living in New Zealand, Auckland. Been living in New Zealand for about since 2000. I guess like the first steps to my depression, I think it started when I was about probably 15 or 16, and I don't know, I guess what started it off for me, or got me into my depression, was more just I don't know, just the fact that I couldn't really hold a good relationship with a girl or anything like that. And even when I tried and gave everything I could, I just made it fall apart even more. And I guess that's what started me on more just stepping out of I guess the church and everything. Because I don't know, my parents are originally Seventh-day Adventists, and I used to go to church every day and stuff, but I guess it was something that I grew up with, and I didn't really choose myself or anything, so it was more just something I did rather than a decision I'd made to pursue at the time, I guess. And I just got I started listening to more and more heavy music, and then so I went from rock to heavy rock to screamo and death metal, black metal, all that stuff, and then I got into power metal, and I guess just I just became more and more dark increasingly, and I guess I was more just trying to run away from God in a sense, just by diving into darkness really. And I just kept diving and diving and diving and getting darker and darker until until I don't know, I couldn't even really feel or see God, and there was just pain and misery. And I remember some of my views, just seeing the world as the only really purpose to life is really dying. And I guess one of the only comforts I really had was I don't know, I just always used to every night was just dreaming about killing, just blood being spilled everywhere, and just going to hell, and me just picturing my own little personal place in hell, and just I guess I even saw that as almost a solace, I guess. My depression. Yeah, no, I used to, I did get suicidal at one point, and I guess from gradually constantly building, and I began to put bags over my head and try suffocate myself. I tried overdosing on pills, and the thing that really I don't know, nothing ever really worked for a good couple months, and my dad actually even caught me hacking at myself with a machete, and I guess that was the turning point for me, because my dad actually dove on the bed and he put his arm in front of my arm where I was trying to hack it apart, and because I don't harming other people, but I don't know, it's just a thing with me, and I don't know, it just snapped me out of in the moment just what I was caught up in. And then I sort of began to realize just what I'd become. It was just a reality check, with a moment where you can just momentarily just take a step back and actually realize what you're going through. I don't know, I guess as I dived into darkness, I guess I also just slowly got consumed by demonic forces as well, I guess. I guess how I guess I overcame my depression was, I guess it was more God reaching out to me than anything else, because I don't know, I guess I reached this point in my life where I was coming to the end of college, and all this stuff was just happening to me. I was studying to become an architect, but for my year 13 English exam, I was looking at my timetable, and then my timetable when I was planning to go to my exam, I saw it as one time, and then when my exam was over, it shifted back to the real time or something. I don't know. I was literally checking the same schedule, which had my exams on it for a month, and then I kept thinking, yep, it's this date, this time, and I missed my final English exam, which I was doing scholarship, but it was just one thing, and then I miss I don't know, I was just in debt. My parents wouldn't give me any money. My parents wanted to chuck me out. I don't know, my gaming computer broke. I don't know, I broke up with my girlfriend at the time. I don't know, everything on every level was just I didn't actually have a place to turn to, and then I was just okay man, just I don't really have any more options left, might as well just commit suicide, And I guess I made this plan where I was just on New Year's, I was just gonna tie my we were going down to a lake or something. I was gonna with my family and my parents' family or whatever, and I was just gonna tie myself out as much as possible, swim into the middle of the lake and drown. Oh, that was my plan. And I guess leading up to that point, I guess demonically, I was just put in a mental hold where I didn't really have that much freedom of thought. So I don't know, over the couple of months leading up to that, I was just slowly mentally becoming more and more free and able to more just realize what I'd become and make me more aware of just how much I need to change my current path, because I was just in a state where I just genuinely didn't care if I lived or I died or what the heck happened to me, and I guess when you live in that sort of state, it really destroys you as a person, and even I don't know, not going through something that painful is really painful, because then it strikes you as I'm not even going through that much and I'm in this much pain sort of thing, but it's more just about having there being an imbalance and overcoming it, really. And I don't know, anyway, I don't know, lots of things stop me from, I don't know, I guess the entire month leading up to the point where I was really planning to get into a situation where I couldn't actually get out of it suicide-wise. I don't know, I could just tell that God was just reaching out for me, even though at a point I couldn't even really consider him. And I don't know, just I was just practically a couple days till New Year's, I was just doing all the last things I wanted to do before I killed myself. And it just included reading a few books, and actually I was reading this book and then this girl just started talking to me, and I was just get lost sort of attitude at first, and then I don't know, we just started talking, we started hanging out a bit on the lead up to this thing, and then I don't know, she started talking about God, and then that it was a sheet of it's a sheet in my mind just shattered, and I could just suddenly start thinking about God again. And then I was just oh yeah, I guess I could give God one more go. I wasn't really expecting anything to happen. So New Year's passed and I didn't end up committing suicide and stuff. And on the 1st of January when we got back home, I really just got into my room, I don't know, there was a demonic struggle in me, when I don't know, the demons in me realized what I was gonna do, they were just starting to try to control me almost there, and I could just feel all this emotion, and I was shaking a bit, and I don't know, it's just they're trying to grab my reins, I guess, and just try to wrestle me out of doing what I wanted to do, and yeah, I guess and then I was just really struggling, and then suddenly it all this stuff that was trying to control me just slipped away, and then suddenly there was this huge presence of God, and it was that was my first God encounter, and it wasn't even the atmosphere was just thickly charged with God's atmosphere, and I was just I don't even know really what to think here, because like I don't know, I'd gone to church for like my childhood and all that other stuff, and like every time like I was like talking to God, like try praying to God, like it never worked or anything, you know. And you know, I honestly just started like crying so much, and it was so weird for me, because I don't know, it's just like all the brokenness over like the years was just like, you just like realize it was so pointless, you know, and like all the suffering, just the way you like lived your life, it was just completely pointless. And like I guess like at that stage, like God was like in a neutral buzz, but you could strongly feel his presence, you know. And then I was just like, well, you know, like I now know that God's real. I guess like in that moment I was also like really remembering just like all like my like really like demonic dreams and stuff about like, you know, burning in hell but like it was like the first time like in my dreams that I noticed that there was like a lot of other people there, and I was just like, man, you know. And I guess like in the moment I got caught up, and I was like really like perceiving the world as like a giant like meat grinder where people would just like process like cattle like at a slaughterhouse and just like destination hell. Well, that's what I saw like mentally at the time. And I was just like, well, you know, I got to do something with my life, you know. And so I just was like, God, you know, I'm ready and willing to do like anything that you want me to, you know. I don't care, like. And to be honest, in that moment, like when I thought that, you know, like God instantly, I just like felt like this ridiculous joy. It was just so overwhelming. Like the entire atmosphere was just charged with joy. And I don't know, it was just like, it was crazy, because it was like an inhuman level of joy. It's like it just like overrid my personality, and I couldn't like not laugh just because of like the sheer like almost force behind the emotion. And I don't know, like I was expecting to like just like get sent on some sort of like suicidal missions trip or something, because I was like thinking, oh yeah, I'm suicidal, you know, God's probably gonna just use me to go to some place, and you know, I'll die and I'll probably end up in heaven, better than going to hell. That was my ideology at the time. And then I remember like God just like, I just remember really strong thought in my mind just saying, I've got much more bigger plans for you than, you know, like than that or whatever. And yeah, and even like after I found God, you know, like I still like I wanted to hold in like my really dark edge, and like I guess like a part of my like walk with God was being like God really undoing me like in like that sort of way, I guess. And you know, so I like really got out of my suicidal stuff. And I guess one of the struggles I had after I found God was that like all my friends, like they instantly just like didn't like my change and everything. And even like, and one of the things that really cut me up the most was when one of my friends said, you should have just fucking commit suicide, you know. That just went straight to the heart, man. I was just like, fuck it. And then I was just like at a war in my mind if I should like just do it anyway, you know. And then I was just like, oh man, I can't like, you know, commit suicide after I've just like gone through that, you know. So I just like cut myself off from all my friends, and I just started doing my own thing. And you know,
somebody's suicidal right now listening to this, what would you say to them? What are the first couple of things they need to do step by step to get out of that depression? What's the first thing they need to do?
The first thing they need to do is just, I'd say, stop focusing on your small little like mind or world, because chances are, like, I mean, like there may be some girl or some team that you need to be a part of that is your world, but the world is so much bigger than like the current things inside of your world, you know. And there's like, life always goes on, like life's bigger and better, you know. And so it's just always worth just like continuing to pursue like life, I guess, you know. Because I mean, like one idea that really stopped me from like committing suicide is I'm gonna die like at the end of the day, like, you know, be it like either tomorrow or like in 20 years time. It's like the same destination, you know. So there's not really too much reason not to like keep living.
What about step two?
Step two, Step 2, I'd say, like, start, like, because a lot of my friends were, like, in a pretty dark place as well, so they're, like, almost holding me in that sort of way, I guess. So I guess it's just, like, more like creating a gap between you and whatever's, like, and things that more resonate with you in a dark place, you know, like, or in, like, a place that's holding you in depression. And I know that a lot of people, like, you can, like, enjoy the depression or the way it feels, you know, because, like, you can, like, listen to your music and you can, like, have something resonating with you. Yeah, you know, I feel that sort of thing. But, like, at the end of the day, life can get better, and, like, you can, like, resonate with things that are way more positive, like, way more, like, things like bursting with life and stuff like that. And yeah, if there was a step 3, just start experiencing life and just doing new things, man. I mean, like, honestly, I think one of the best things is just new experiences, you know, and I just, like, personally love just trying out new things. I mean, one of the reasons why my hair is the way it is, the reason why I've got, like, earrings, is just because I love to try new things, you know. I like to, like, experience new stuff. You know, life is, like, way better than, I don't know, it can always get better, it can always get worse, you know. Yeah.
So you would say life works by faith?
Yeah, man.